Welcome back to the Long Two, everybody. We have a very fun pod today for you. We are going to talk about two teams that are confusing the hell out of Max and I. We're going to break down some film. Max, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good. The Steelers just beat the Colts, which I'm very excited about.
Big win. Nice.
But yeah, nice Halloween weekend. Saw some good basketball. Ready to talk about two very frustrating NBA teams.
Yeah, yeah. Should we hop into the film? Should we give the people what they want?
Yeah, let's do it. So I think the first team we're going to speak on is the Orlando Magic. Kind of tough timing because they're actually on a 2-game win streak here. But coming into this weekend, before they played Charlotte and the Wizards, Orlando was kind of in trouble. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was the offenses looked rough. Desmond Bane has struggled to get going. There was a lot of Paolo stuff. There's a bad, Paolo clip going viral of him missing the shot at the end of the Atlanta game, which we'll talk about. And then just a lot of like, were we all way too high on the Magic type of stuff going on. So we're gonna discuss it. We're gonna figure out, were we too high on the Magic?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they made a big move, obviously bringing in Bane, getting rid of, some assets there. But
A lot of
Bane
assets,
largely,
yeah.
yeah, a lot of assets there. And at the time, like we really liked that move. We thought it was a really solid move. I still think, obviously it's extremely early. I still think they can figure this out. But I think there's some bigger questions we have to start asking ourselves about the leader of your team here, Paolo Banchero. And as much as we all love Paolo, and as much as I loved his playoff stats and what he did last year, there's some there's some interesting stuff that we're coming across here, and kind of some scary stuff here with him as your lead ball handler that I think we can start to break down now. He's got to get more mature as a lead ball handler. We'll start with the first clip here. Um, this is with Desmond, the issues with Desmond Bain. So Jordan, go ahead and start
Yeah, so
talking
I
about that
actually,
one.
yeah, we're gonna start off with Bane. We'll get to Paolo later. I actually think that the Magic's issues on offense, they're 23rd in offensive rating. I think it stems more from uh kind of lackluster offensive process in terms of their creativity, in terms of how they're using their players, and also just Desmond Bane, this guy that they gave up all these assets for, is not playing well. He's 25% from three. He's struggling to finish. That Pistons game, I swear to God, I think he got blocked 5 times, literally 5 times. It was
Yeah.
actually incredible and impressive. But we're gonna dive into this and look at a couple clips here. So. This is some good stuff. So I talk about the offensive process, right? Desmond Bane, in my opinion, hasn't been on the ball as much as I would have liked to see. In the years that he was in Memphis, even playing against another ball dominant guy like John Morant, he was still handling the ball a lot. And you see here, you get Paolo as the screener and the roller, Bane as the ball handler, empty side pick and roll. You got all this space over here. It's tough to tag this roll from Paolo. Bridges has to respect Bane. Khan is obviously chasing Bane, and then you just get an easy pass, and you get Paolo downhill, and he's really hard to stop when he gets around the rim like that. That's some stuff that I just wish they would run more. Empty side pick and rolls with Bane as the handler and Paolo as the screener. Absolutely love it. Let's see more of that.
Well, first off, they also, like you said, you want to see more of it. They're only running, Paolo runs 4.4 pick and rolls as the ball handler per game, but he's only running 1.4 per game as the roller itself. So to
Yeah.
your point, they're just not running this type of stuff, and they need to be.
Yeah, they have the ball in Paolo's hands a lot. 4.4 pick and rolls a game, like you said. And I think Bane is around that same number in terms of pick and rolls, but you'd like to see the guard and the guy that you gave up all those picks for have the ball in his hands more and use this 6'10 freakish human
Yeah.
being in Paolo as a roller and as a physical guy getting to the rim. He doesn't have to be this point forward that, you're trying to make him out to be, although he can do that stuff. And then right here, so they have Bane initiating here, but look at the play they run. So it's Anthony Black setting a back screen here for Franz, and then AB is going to come off of this screen set by Paolo, and this play works to perfection. Franz's cut draws three bodies in the paint. AB comes wide open, but AB's shooting 32% this year. This is an ugly air ball, and I just don't understand why, of the few times they have Bane initiate offense, this is what they have him doing. They have him throwing to AB coming off a screen. Like, wouldn't you want those roles reversed? Wouldn't you want AB to be here? I'm not trying to pick on Anthony Black and say he's a bad player. I'm really high on Anthony Black as a young player, but he's certainly not the shooter Desmond Bane is. So this was a strange one in this game where Bane just hadn't really initiated a whole lot of offense. And then the one time they start like getting him a touch, it's to run some off-ball action for Franz and AB. So just again, like weird process stuff. It's not like panic mode level stuff. And we'll get back to the good stuff here. So here they got AB initiating. He's going to get two on the ball with Cade and Holland. Does a nice job to hit Paolo again as the roller. We love him in this spot. And then you get Goga setting a really nice screen that Bane just comes off to the corner. And Paolo makes that pass. Good read. Bane just simply has to knock these down. There's nothing more complicated than that. Like he is just not shooting well. Maybe it's being in a new environment. Maybe he just hasn't found his rhythm yet. Probably not maybe. He just hasn't found his rhythm yet, and he needs to start making these shots a lot more consistently. But that's a good play. I do want to go call out here. Notice Ron Holland here. As this screen is set, Holland is pressuring and he gets over that screen on Anthony Black. That's what forces Cade to come and put two on the ball. And if we go and we watch this next play, you're going to see what happens when guys don't go over on Anthony Black. Colin Sexton's guarding him here, and he's going to go way under. Again, AB initiating Bane off, and it's just guys daring Anthony Black to shoot,
Yeah.
and he's going to miss this one. So, again, I really like Anthony Black. I think he can initiate offense, but I would just rather have this be Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The shooting.
that's all it is, really. Um, let's get to this next clip here. Okay, this is how teams have been guarding Bane off the ball. So they've been trying to get him a lot of like off-ball pin downs and stuff like that, and it's worked sometimes. But Bane is such a good shooter that teams are just going to give him this top lock coverage. And watch what that does. When Bane sees this, he's like, okay, I'm not going to screw around and try and go over this and play right into what this coverage does. Instead, he just that coverage turns him into a screener. And now again, AB is going to be handling the ball. Bane never gets a touch. It's an under, and it's another miss by Anthony Black. So this is more of like, okay, if they're going to guard Bane like this, like how do we manufacture him more touches? How do we get him more involved in the offense? Bane is averaging, I think it's 53 touches per game this year after 69 touches per game last year. So the touch is significantly down for Bane. There's a lot of good stuff with Bane that I am confident that they're going to get to. He hasn't been playing well, and the process doesn't look quite right to me yet, but I just want to see more of Bane on the ball. I want to see him get more touches. I just want to see him more involved overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're totally right there, right? He has so much gravity as an offensive player, and you just are so limited with Anthony Black initiating the offense here. You want to see Paolo more as a roller, and I think there's a good example of this here. You're going to see Paolo as a pick and roll ball handler. He has Trey on him. He's going to get switched really quickly to Jalen Johnson. Okay, so you go ahead and play it through. And here, this is where you want to see Paolo just become a more mature offensive player and a more mature initiator. And this is why he frustrates me so much at times is you go ahead and play it through. All right, stop it right there. So right before he shoots here, he has the entire defense has their eyes on him. And there's a couple of passes that he can make here that are just a lot better than what the decision that he actually makes is. So I'm not going to fault him too much for this one because it is a late in the shot clock shot here. But what you want to see him get better at is first look at Franz, who's wide open, pretty much wide open. Dyson Daniels is a great defender, and there is potential where he could get his hand on that ball or recover and be able to close out on Franz as a shooter. But if you pass that ball quick enough, there is potential where you could get it to Franz for an open shot, or you could even get it to Franz who can pass it to Tyus Jones in the corner for another open shot. That would be pushing it a little bit. But I want him to see things, and he's just not quite seeing them. I'll give him a pass a little bit because it is a later in the shot clock shot here. But this type of shot that he's taking is just extremely difficult against a good defender in Jalen Johnson. And it's something I want to see him change here. But for the next play, right, with
I do want to
Paolo,
say real quick, like it's not super nuanced analysis, but like again, Paolo as the ball handler out here with Jalen Johnson on him in an ISO, like does anybody feel good about this for the Magic? Like
no.
Paolo, we really like as a player, but this is not him. Like attacking one-on-one against a really good defender, like look at how easy it is for him to get stopped. He doesn't have like great bursts to go by. He's not like what they want him to be, as in like he's not a Jason Tatum or a elite scorer that can just go at guys and score. He's gonna end up taking a lot of tough shots like that when he ends up in those one-on-one situations.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's got to use the gravity that he's given as an offensive player to make his teammates better. So we see here, this is the clip that's gone viral. It's just one of the worst shots you're going to see from Paolo. Clearly, he doesn't know how much time is left on the clock, and that's just something that's going to come with. I mean, he should know. I like that should be here by now. But you're going to see Paolo get the ball here and just take a really bad shot with 11 seconds left in the clock. And there is so much more. There's just a lot better decisions out there that he could have made. I get it. He was kind of in a tough position where he would have been awkward if he didn't take that shot because of where he gets the ball here. And there's not a lot of opportunities because Dyson Daniels is reaching in. So maybe he shot because he was afraid of getting the ball poked free or something. But that can't be the shot here. He lost him the game because of that. And then this is the part that makes me the most upset. It's not, again, not nuanced analysis here, but misses this shot. Just keep your eye on Paolo. He stands out of bounds, does not come and crash on the boards at all, does not come to even help his teammates out, help them up, anything like that. It's just bad body language, and it's just a really bad shot and a bad play here. And part of the reason why Paolo frustrates me is because he's better than this, and you don't want to see him doing things like this. And again, next play here, Paolo, the things I want to see from him is I want to see him using all of the gravity that he has to his advantage, right? So you're going to see him drive, and he's just going to put his head down and drive with five defenders collapsing in on him and take a bad shot here. With all that, like, Franz is wide open in the corner. You could advance that to Anthony Black. I know that's not ideal because Anthony Black's not a great shooter. You could pop it back out to Bane. You could hit Wendell right there for a little bounce pass. Maybe he can reinitiate, like, bring it back out, get something going, because there's 19 seconds left in the shot clock. It's early. There's no reason. It's not like they had numbers or anything. There's no reason for him to just attack like this and not take advantage of everyone closing in on him. I know Paolo is, like, ridiculous at drawing fouls. He's very good at drawing fouls. But I think that's what he was trying to do here. And I'm never going to fault you for trying to draw fouls and things of that nature. I just think that there is better options here than driving head down into the teeth of the defense and not looking to at least pass. I know he was trying to draw a foul, but if you can mitigate things like that and I think you can start to get the offense in rhythm, because this team is just not offensively in rhythm right now. And I think that's part of it is, there's a lot of plays of you standing there watching Paolo drive down into the teeth of the defense and take a tough shot. Again, just another example of this here. You're going to see him drive down again. All five defenders are going to collapse. All five defenders have eyes on the ball. Giddy's out of position. Herter's touching the paint with Bane right there. You could easily pass to Desmond Bane, who's a good shooter. Again, Franz in the corner. Instead, this is where I get frustrated the most, because at least in the last clip, he was driving to the rim and trying to get a foul call. This is just a bad shot. This is just a difficult and bad shot that it's almost like he spams these shots to show us that he can make tough shots like this. And that's not what I want to see. I want to see facilitation and for him to get the ball movement going and for him to set up his teammates on offense. That's where Paolo will be in the best in the best scenario for this team, is just being a good initiator on the offensive end. And right now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do think this type of shot is really bad. The one before driving to the rim, I'm not super mad at. He's getting to the rim more this year than he has in the past too, which is great,
Mhm.
but he's got to cut these out. These early shot clock or mid shot clock short fadeaways. It'd be one thing if he was really good at this shot, right? Like if this was his thing, if he was DeMar DeRozan and he was just draining these, but he's also
KD.
not doing that. So um we'll move off of Paolo though. I still think Paolo's really good. I honestly think he's being misused. You can see him being misused again here, as the primary ball handler. And this is where I'm going to talk about Franz a little bit. Franz is just relegated to the corner this whole possession. I want this to be Franz handling the ball. Bane, I don't mind as a screener, of course, because of the shooting gravity, but I want Franz to be receiving a screen from Paolo. I want Bane to be receiving a screen from Paolo. I want Franz running pick and roll with Goga or whoever the big is, or maybe it's Bane as the inverted like this is, but misusing Paolo and then using Bane as the screener, it's almost like they're not using any of their three best players in their strengths in this whole
Yeah.
possession, and then Paolo just gets shut off on the drive, and this is one of those blocks I was talking about where Bane's like late shot clock trying to create something out of nothing. But it's just gross, right? Like this isn't where Paolo's best. This is where you want Franz, who is like
Yeah.
a better ball handler, an awesome driver, a really good passer. This is where like Franz should be running the high pick and rolls a lot more than Paolo. So relegating Franz to the corner, the guy who's your best driver and one of your best playmakers, probably the best passer on the team, in my opinion. I can't quite get behind that. But let's get to the good stuff with Franz. He has been shooting the absolute lights out. Watch this move here. This is nothing but just a between the legs step back, confident, drain it in your face. That does not look like the Franz Wagner of 2 years ago in the
No, it does
playoffs
not.
when he was getting dared to shoot and couldn't make a thing. This seems like real shooting development. He's at 43% from three so far on the year. We'll see if that sustains. I don't think he'll stay that high, but he's been awesome so far. And then we got this one. He's going to set a little screen here and then slip right out of it. Again, just confident, right? Like no hesitation on the shot. And then this next one is probably my favorite. Here he is running the pick and roll. Who's this? Javante? I don't know. Whoever his
What?
defender is goes
Oh, yeah,
under on
Javante
him.
Green.
Yeah, it's Javante goes under on him, and look at Franz, no hesitation again. It's contested, and he buries it. So I just want Franz to run more pick and roll. I want him to have the ball in his hands more. He looks absolutely unreal, especially with the shots going down like they have been. So that's all I want to say about Franz. But
Yeah. And I mean, so with the splits here in terms of usage rate, like currently Paolo's usage rate is 27%, Franz's is 23, and Baines is 22%. We kind of want to see those numbers a little bit. I think with what you're saying, we definitely want to see a little bit of a change in those numbers where it's less Paolo centric ball
mhm.
move, or excuse me, Paolo centric, like initiating the play, things like that. You want Franz with the ball in his hands because when the ball is in Franz's hands, good things happen as an initiator. So,
And again, like
um,
I love Paolo. I want him, but I
yeah,
just I want him to run a bunch of post ups. I want him to be
yes,
a monster in transition as he is. I want him to be an awesome screener and roller, which he is. Like he's a really good passer. You can use him as a hub. You
yes.
can like I mentioned it last podcast, you can use him as like this way better version of Draymond Green on offense, right? Like the initiator and the screener and the top of the key hub passer guy and the roller making decisions. Like Paolo can be awesome in that role. I just want to see him used in that way, which he's not right now.
Absolutely. I mean, right now they're sixth in points per possession, so they're incredible in transition, which
So
a
good.
lot
They're
of that
they're
is
unreal in
Paolo.
transition because they have
Yeah,
Franz and Paolo who are
exactly.
unstoppable transition weapons.
Yes, like 6'10 running down the floor at full speed and just
Yeah.
getting to the rim. And then Paolo is incredible at drawing fouls.
Hmm.
Like that is one thing that um like for with Tatum, for example, right? That was one of the things that we wanted him to add to his game was the ability to draw fouls consistently. It's easy points. And one weird stat with Orlando is that they're fifth in fouls drawn, but they're 25th in the league in free throw percentage. They're shooting 74.6% from the free throw line. So they're just leaving points at the line. That's something that I expect to get better as they warm up. And, obviously that number just can't stand, hopefully, if you're taking that many free throws. But Paolo, we want to see his strengths build on. Like we want to see him more in you know, transition, taking advantage of transition plays like that. We want to see him having the ability to draw fouls in a cleaner and better way. And there's hope here because I think for me, the thing that frustrates me the greatest is when it feels like the talent is almost being wasted or not used correctly. And that's a good thing and a bad thing because that means that there is at least flashes of hope. And we definitely are going to see that with Paolo here. So for the first one, Paolo, you're going to see have the ball in his hands, go ahead and run it through. He runs the screen with Bane. Bane's just going to slip through Patrick Williams here. And this is just a good bounce pass to Bane from Paolo. And Bane's going to get a really nice pass to Franz, who's going to hit a nice little runner here. Simple, easy, but it shows you that Paolo has that ability to make these difficult-ish kind of passes and just play a little bit more high level than what he's doing at times here. So again, just a really nice bounce pass to Bane sets up the transition here, and
Yeah,
it's
I
just
mean,
a good
I
move.
like it. Obviously, it's a good pass, but again, like Paolo initiating from the perimeter, we just hammered it home. I don't love it. You can see this is kind of like a blown coverage here by the Bulls
Yeah.
with Trey Jones coming out, and then Patrick Williams just doesn't stay with Bane. Like teams in the playoffs aren't gonna just blow switches like this, right?
Yes.
So again, like good pass. We know Paolo has this passing ability. He shows it to us every single night.
Exactly.
But we just want to see it a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's why the clip was pulled. It's not necessarily like an insane magic offensive sequence. It's more so the just the fact that Paolo can make these passes, and
Yeah.
that's why we're being hard on him for not making them. Again, right here you're going to see Paolo, or excuse me, you're going to see Suggs, and this is just good ball movement, good passing, with Orlando, and using the collapsing defense for the assist. Right, so Paolo sets again Paolo as the screener, good things can happen, right?
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
you're gonna see him run a little screen action here. There you go. And then he's gonna get the ball from Bane. He's right there. He sees the defense collapsing, and this is what we want to see him do more of. One, as the screener and with Bane as the ball handler, but two, just using the collapsing defense, using the gravity and the pull that you have as an offensive player and using it to make your teammates better around you, right? As you can see, Wendell Carter's just kind of hanging out in the dunker spot when Jovic collapses in to get on Paolo. It's just an easy alley-oop. That's what we want to see him do more of.
I
Um,
also like this. Like again, this is why I want Bane with the ball in his hands. Like he
yeah,
is, even though he's not shooting well right now, he's so respected as a shooter that the Heat have
to go over.
Bam way up on him, and so it's going to be
Yeah.
really easy to get that pocket pass into Paolo. And now Bam is out of position, so Jovic has to help, and that's what creates the lob. So again, just those actions that we're talking about.
Exactly. And then finally here, this is just thrown in because again, Paolo does have that good passing ability, and this is just an incredible pass to Wendell, excuse me,
Yeah, it's
just as
ridiculous.
he's driving, using again the defense collapsing on him to make his teammates around him better. This is what we want to see more of. Again, it is Paolo as a ball handler, so not like something that we're super pumped about, but the passing is there, the ability is there, using the collapsing defense against them is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think with the Magic here, I never want to like, I don't know. Do you think we overhype them or do you think it's stuff that's fixable? Because I do think it's stuff that's fixable. It's almost more like schematically is where the issues are,
Hmm.
and then they just can't shoot the basketball. But I feel like that's not gonna continue, right? Like I feel like if they fix the issues where the players are, if we they play the scheme that we think that they should play, you're going to see the assist to turnover ratio go up, which right now they're 27th in assist to turnover ratio. You're going to see that 3-point percentage go up because they're 23rd in 3-point percentage, and you're going to see those 3-pointers attempted go up because everybody's going to be in their natural spots. They're 27th in 3-pointers attempted and 25th in field goals attempted. So really, is their offense which is killing them right now, and that feels like a schematic thing.
Yeah, I mean, their defense was bad to start the year too, but I think they're up to 11th in defensive rating. I think
Yeah,
we all still believe in them as a really solid defense. Maybe they're not going to reach the level that they did last year, where they were, I think, finished second or maybe third on the year last
yeah,
season.
something like that.
But like, I still believe in them as an elite defense. It's very similar personnel, but they've just had some foul issues this year. Bane hasn't been great in terms of the fouls, but the offense, yeah, it's been pretty ugly. But I think all of this is getting a little bit overblown. Like, I think it's just a new player in a new system trying to figure himself out, and Bane just has not played well. You gave up, what they give up, four first rounders for Bane or something,
Yeah,
five or something? Like, this is not the
or
guy that they traded for, the guy that's playing for the Magic right now. So he's going to be better. He's going to shoot it a lot better. I think they're going to find different ways to use him. Maybe it's not the ways we talked about. Maybe there are other different creative ways, but just anything to get the guy more touches, to get his rhythm going, I think is going to make a huge difference for the offense. And then on top of that, yeah, I mean, Franz and Palos seem to, maybe, we just kind of want those roles a little bit reversed in terms of like the pick and roll ball handling and the on ball usage rate and stuff like that. But I don't even know if that will change. I think regardless of whether that changes or not, I think their offense is going to be a lot better than it is right now. Um, yeah, I think we covered it.
well, I don't know. I think it seems like schematically they're fixed. It seems like Bane is playing out of position or out of his comfort level, and I think
Mm.
that's leading more towards why he's having these issues rather than him just not being
I
it
mean,
just being something
I
else, right?
agree, but he's also just
Yeah.
simply hasn't played well. Like there is
No.
part of it where it's like he's just been bad and he has not made shots that he usually makes and he's struggling to finish. And like I said, like he's getting blocked at the rim against the Pistons. It was such a rough Desmond Bane game against the Pistons, and it's like
Yeah.
sometimes you just have bad nights and bad stretches. And he talked about his shooting slump, and he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I've had bad shooting slumps before. Like, I'm gonna come back from it. It's gonna be, totally fine." So, I do think that that at least has to be mentioned. Although, yeah, the schematic stuff certainly matters.
But it's and also, I mean, Bane is definitely a huge part of the part, like a huge issue and part of the issue. But I mean, Franz's usage rate is going down. Like
Yeah,
we gotta
I agree.
that can't be happening. And I think that's another schematic thing where they've been trying to figure out this Franz and Paolo thing, right? They're trying to figure out, well, who should have the ball in their hands, who should be initiating the offense. And I think the stats tell you one thing, which is it should be Franz, and the eye test tells you one thing, but they're not doing that. So that's where like schematically you're like, this has to be you have to call into question what Jamal Mosley and his staff are doing. I know those guys are a lot smarter than we are, but I think it's just worth noting like this is not a new problem in terms of offensive issues. Now I know last year they were extremely injured and beat up, and
Mhm.
everyone on the team had an oblique injury for some reason. But I mean, like this isn't the first year where the Magic have struggled offensively, and I think this is the year where the East is wide open. You got to start having some tough conversations here about what needs to change offensively.
I do think that's fair. I think the tough conversations are, Paolo, we got to first of all talk about these
Yeah.
mid-rangers, right? These
Yeah.
fadeaways. It's just too much when it comes to that shot, and you basically have to eliminate the early shot clock shots. We're Celtics fans. We saw it happen with Tatum. Tatum
Oh,
loved that shot early in his career, and it was really cool when
Brown
they went
still loves
in.
that shot.
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool when it goes in. It's pretty. It's like, oh my God, you can't guard that, but it's statistically not a good shot. It's not an efficient shot. So a lot of that stuff has to be cut out. And yeah, I mean, maybe they have to get Franz the ball more. Maybe they got to get Bane the ball more. But yeah,
Yeah. I think it just feels like everyone's out of position and getting them back in is going to do wonders for that. So hopefully that's what we'll see. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, they are coming off a 2-game win streak here, so maybe they can get it together. Granted, it was against two pretty rough teams in Charlotte and the Wizards, but maybe they can get it together here. A team that is trending in the wrong direction, Jordan, and very, very aggressively in the wrong direction is the Memphis Grizzlies. It got very ugly this weekend.
yeah, there's some really alarming John Morant stuff. That was like shocking in that Lakers game, and we're gonna cover it right now.
Yeah, well, not just not just in the game, but post game too, with his
Oh,
comments were just extremely really, really bad. Just he said, I'm trying to pull up the exact comment here. It was something about I don't know. Ask the coaching staff. Apparently, apparently it's better with me off the floor, or something like that. He then gets suspended for a game by Tomas Isolo, the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. It seems like from what we've gathered through our sleuthing online via Twitter, or excuse me, X, it seems like Thomas Isolo is someone that is not afraid to go after a player and to kind of, you know, put them in front of the team and not embarrass them, but call them out in front of the team. And it
mhm.
seems like that might have happened with Ja, and he did not react well, um, and got suspended because they thought that his actions were inappropriate. This is outside of the comments. It seems like Isolo came up to him afterwards in front of the team after the comments were made, tried to, say something to Ja about it, and he didn't react well. So not a good look from your star of your team by any means. And I mean, Isolo has every right to call out Ja after this performance against the Lakers.
Yeah, so I think something happened during the game that really pissed Ja off. Like I think Isolo must have called out his play in some manner during the
Yeah.
game, and then from that point forward, Ja was like completely disengaged and out of it in that Lakers game, which we all saw and we're gonna see again in a couple minutes here. Um, but yeah, like Ja responding as he did and like just pouting and sitting standing in the corner and then making horrible comments to the media, um, and probably saying some choice words to his coaching staff, like the suspension's warranted. It feels a lot like the Jimmy Butler in Miami situation to me.
Yeah.
Maybe this has flared up a little bit quicker. Like the Jimmy thing was kind of a slow burn. Um, but it is similar with like Jimmy just kind of stopped trying, and you could see it in the games in that
Yeah.
first part of the Miami season last year, where Jimmy was just kind of like deferring and not like being the star. And then we saw a lot of that from Ja in that Lakers game. Now, does Ja like really want out like Jimmy did? I don't know. So there's a chance that like they work this out and Ja gets back to being himself and they can somehow figure it out. But man, right now it does not look good.
No, not at all. And I think this is a huge inflection point in the future of the Memphis Grizzlies, right? If this gets patched over and they're able to work things out, this could make them stronger, make them a better team, and maybe be something that really like um cauterizes the team and just makes everything better and has some positive outcomes. This could also be the point where the end of Ja Morant's career as a Grizzly
Yeah.
comes in and it gets different and ugly and they trade their star and their hero because Ja Morant is the biggest thing in Memphis. Like I lived in Tennessee for a few years and that is Ja Morant is huge across that state and he means means a lot to the people of Memphis who have always had his back. If you talk to anyone in Memphis and you try to shit talk Ja, they always or like talk down on the Grizzlies. They always defend Ja. And today or yesterday and this weekend was the first time that I really saw people going after Ja who were Memphis fans and being like putting their foot down and being like, no, this is on you. This is your mistake. This is not, we're not defending you anymore. And if the relationship between him and the city sours, that it's going to be ugly, I think. So I'm interested in seeing, if he takes this and comes back and is better. But Jordan, not to talk about like we never really want to attack guys' characters on this podcast, but Ja does have a history of this. This is not the first time he's been suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. I don't know if there's anything in his history now that's going to tell me that he's going to learn from his mistakes and be better because he hasn't so far. Really?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I also think like some of this just stems from the basketball part of it. Like
Yeah.
Ja came into the league and won Rookie of the Year and like took the league by storm, and we were like, oh my God, he's the next thing. And from those few years where they were making deep playoff runs and Ja was awesome, like have we seen a bunch of improvement from him? I don't think so. I think if anything, we've seen kind of the jump shot regress a whole lot, and like he just hasn't been at the level of like a superstar player for a really long time, I think. So I
Yeah.
think that's got to be like, frustrating for him
Definitely.
to feel like he's this, top 10, top 15 guy, but like the results for the last few years have been more like, is he a top 40 guy? Is he a top 30 guy?
Yeah. And
Um,
it's got to be frustrating for him when he feels like their team is really good and everyone's injured. Like that sucks.
yeah.
I mean, this they've already had to get like special circumstances because of how many injuries they had going into the into the season. They like couldn't get enough bodies. They had to like sign guys off the street. So it's got to be frustrating when your team is good and it just feels like everything's on top of you. There's no denying that Ja is facing an astronomical amount of pressure. So I understand why that makes you, make kind of decisions that we might question and things like that. But when that becomes a pattern, you got to start asking the tough questions here. Um, and when you said he's not shooting that well, were you alluding to the 15.6% from three that he's shooting right now?
Yeah,
Because
I think
on
that would
five
be
attempts a game.
a good spot to start. Yeah. Just getting the
Yeah.
Ben Simmons treatment night in and night out.
Yeah.
Not pretty.
43% effective field goal percentage, pretty
Yeah.
terrible. Third worst on the team. And he's averaging 20.9 points per game. So definitely not his best self here. Let's get into the first play with Ja. Um, and this is really early into that Lakers game, and it's kind of a warning of things to come here. Watch Ja Morant. He's in the corner, kind of in the corner. He's guarding Marcus Smart. And just look at this backdoor cut. Ja's fully watching the ball, doesn't even like has no idea that Marcus Smart back cuts him. Go ahead and play it through. You're gonna see KCP realize, try and rotate. Jock Landale's also gonna realize. So at this point, you're gonna have two guys on Marcus Smart. This leaves Austin Reeves wide open. He does miss this shot, but that was that whole sequence started because Ja fell asleep defensively and the rest of the team had to recover. And it's just not a good start on that end at all here because, I mean, Austin Reeves is a really good 3-point shooter and he could have made them pay really easily for that. So not good here. This another one here. This is I forget the name of the screen. Jordan, help me out.
Double drag.
Double drag screen here for Ja, or excuse me, on Ja. It's just Ja and Jock Landale here, and Morant needs to. Morant and Jock Landale need to speak with each other. They just need to communicate, and there's just no communication. No one figures out who has Marcus Smart, and eventually Jock Landale fully switches on to Marcus Smart. And at this point, John Morant should just see that and just go and help onto Aiden because, or excuse me, switch onto Aiden because Aiden is what, 7'1", and he's just going to be at the rim uncontested, which is what ends up happening because Ja instead goes and tries to help on Marcus, and it's just a wide open, easy lob. And that is just the start of bad things. That is 3 minutes of game time, and there's already two plays where Ja Morant has just fallen asleep and not communicated in an effective way. Could be the reason why Isolo freaked out at him in the game here.
Yeah, so this one was tough. I think Blake Griffin showed this one. Just watch Ja
Yes.
really like completely disengaged, fully standing straight up, no defensive stance. Just watch the body language of this whole play. Like he doesn't really have help responsibilities anywhere. He doesn't have to be involved, but just seeing him off the ball, like standing straight up, what happens if Marcus Smart catches the ball? Like
Yeah.
he's literally standing straight up like a statue. So it's just not a good look in terms of the body language, and it's really frustrating because we know that when Ja's engaged, he can be absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
This time on offense, like Wells comes to set him a screen. He gets the switch onto Austin Reeves and Ja Morant, like, go be Ja Morant. This is where you can be the superstar that we know you can be. Go attack, like go be aggressive. Instead, he's just gonna defer. He's just looks uninterested in being in the game. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't look like the Ja Morant that we know, who can score a whole bunch of points and take guys to the rim, and then on the back door just doesn't even care about going for the ball, makes no effort to go and get it. Um, just not good stuff. And then again here, like he's gonna get another switch onto Jackson Hayes. Smart's gonna switch onto Jock Landale, and it's like he's just deferring. He deferred this entire, fourth quarter, because of what we saw or what we heard happen. Like he just had some sort of spat with the coaching staff, and then it completely took him out of the game. It's really ugly stuff.
Absolutely. It's just effort. That's really what it is. That's what's the most frustrating aspect of it because it's just effort. And there are things that we saw even in this game that, you know, Ja can build on and be more successful with. And this is a great example, right? So Isolo comes in last season after they fire Taylor Jenkins and their offensive coordinator, I forget his name, but he's now with the Heat. And weirdly enough, the Heat are offensively really great now and are surprisingly a very good team. So just wanted to mention that. But Isolo's new offense here is that after the pick and roll action, they want a bunch of cutting basically. So you're going to see KCP get into the pick and roll action with Jock Landale, and you're going to see ball side, John Morant is in the corner, and he's going to backdoor cut with a purpose on Marcus Smart, who's ball watching, and just have an easy score for him. If you are John Morant and you are shooting 15.6% from the 3-point line, you are going to score the majority of your points with easy looks like this, and you are going to be the beneficiary of a lot of pick and roll actions with Isolo as your coach because that is the whole point of this freaking offense. So we get frustrated with Ja for good reason. He's extremely talented. He's a great player. And a lot of the things that he does poorly are within his control. It's effort, it's mentality in the game, and leadership for his team. And these are things that we want to see him be better at because, look, he can be the beneficiary of pick and roll actions by cutting off ball and cutting with a purpose and playing hard. He's an uber talented athlete, and he needs to use that athleticism and those gifts to his advantage.
Yeah, here's some more really good Jaw stuff just to hammer home. Like when he is
Yes,
engaged, he can be
it's
so,
awesome.
so good. Like he's a very smart basketball player, really high basketball IQ, and he's a freak athlete, obviously. So right here, who's this? Gillespie gets some dribble
Yeah,
penetration,
Colin
and then
Gillespie.
this corner skip is open because Conchar has to help at the rim. And look at Ja make an incredible rotation to get this steal. Like that is not normal stuff. Most guys can't move like this. Some guys wouldn't even think about rotating to the corner, knowing that this skip pass is the read for the offensive player. Like it's a really smart play and it's a really athletically impressive play. It's just like this is why we get mad at Ja. Like, dude, you're so good. Just be good.
Yeah,
Just be engaged. Be focused. If all you care about is winning, like you should be able to take coaching. Again, like we don't know what was said by
yeah,
Isolo. Like maybe it was horribly vulgar and graphic and he was
yeah,
attacking Ja as a human being, but like that's not, we haven't heard any of that. So if it's just like hard coaching, which is what it sounds like it was, like yeah, sometimes you got to put your ego aside and look yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, like I will do what you're telling me. You have to buy in, you have to trust the people around you, and if you don't, like it's not going to lead to winning. So that's why we
No,
get mad at Ja.
it's yeah, and it's out of love. I love Ja Morant. I want to see him be good.
Yeah.
When he is good, he's one of the most fun basketball players in the league, and it's just frustrating to see him be bad because he wants to be bad. I mean, the game before the Lakers game, he had what, like 38 and like a
I think it was
triple.
like,
Oh,
28 with a game winner, like 28 and eight
yeah,
assists or something. Yeah.
yeah, he was incredible, and he won the game for them and was awesome. And then you just see this, and it's just a I hope this doesn't end in trading, but it seems like there's a chance that that could happen. So it's definitely a situation we wanted to monitor and kind of discuss here. Just putting you on the spot, are there any teams that you want to see John Morant traded to if he does get moved? Because you know me, I do love talking trades.
Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit about it off camera. The T-Wolves could be fun. I think
I think
the
that's my
the
favorite.
funniest outcome would be Miami. It would be so funny
Really,
if he
mine.
goes if he
I
goes
think the
to the
funniest outcome
team
would be.
that he just got the staff fired for running that offense. If he has to go,
Oh, I
if he
see.
has to go play in that system, that would be absolutely hilarious.
I thought the funniest one would be the Pelicans if it's a Zion for Jaw trade. And they have all point guards and he
Yeah, a
immediately
lot of point
it's like
guards.
they're like, yeah, Jaw has some injury history, so we'll trade him to New Orleans to get it
So we'll
fixed
take
up.
Zion.
Yeah,
Guy's
yeah,
really
we'll take
durable.
Zion.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Exactly. So I think that's just a really funny trade. Um, any other ones? I saw that like someone tweeted about him ending up at Sacramento. Not sure how that would happen, but I think that would be really funny.
Yeah, just the dregs of the NBA. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Um,
The ones that I see like that are most likely according to online is I guess Minnesota somehow. My guess would that would be like a Randall trade.
mm,
Um, which I don't know how to feel with him and Jaren together. That seems kind of
yeah,
interesting.
I don't
I
think
don't know
they're
if I
gonna
love that one.
are okay. So the date is November 2nd.
Yes.
What is your like percent chance that Ja finishes the season on the Memphis Grizzlies?
Like 70%, right?
70? I
Probably.
think that's higher than a lot of people would say. I think a lot of people would be like 60% chance he gets
Well,
traded. Like think
show me
it's
the
more likely he
trade.
doesn't get traded. Yeah, I know that's fair. That's fair.
That's
But it's
not
like
that's one of
sometimes
the
when it
things.
gets that ugly, like if that stuff continues, if the disengagement continues, if he's just out, then it's like
Yeah.
you trade him. But I think it is still a leap. Like it was a gross game, it was a gross quarter or,
It's one
quarter
bad game.
plus. Um, but like, they could literally have already made up and we don't even know. And they're just
Yeah.
fine.
Well, the other thing too is you still have Jaren Jackson Jr. and you also have a really good young core with Jalen Wells and Cedric Coward
Yeah.
and all those guys. Edie, I'm missing a ton of people, but like they have a core. Like they're not a bad team. They're a team that could actually make some noise with the right move here, or if they keep Jaw as well. I think the thing that makes the John Morant trade difficult is one, what is his value around the league? And two, what are you getting back for him? Because if
Mhm.
I'm Memphis, this is not a rebuilding thing. This is a retinkering and retooling if you're going to trade John Morant because you still have a key asset with Jaren Jackson Jr. and you have really good role players. So this is something like you could kind of fix on the fly and make a run here. Like I don't know why they would fully blow everything up. So I think that's what makes it difficult.
Mhm.
Um, I saw the other trade that people were talking about is a trade to Toronto because they have just sort of a lot of assets that kind of
Yeah.
don't all fit together.
Mhm.
And if it's something like maybe like Quickly and Barrett again traded together somehow, or even if it's I guess the trade in question would be maybe Scotty Barnes, which I don't know if I'm Toronto
No,
why you'd be doing
I
that
don't think
trade
so.
at all. I think that's a bad move. Um, but yeah, so something like that. I guess maybe you get like Pirtle. Maybe I don't know. I
Sounds
haven't taken the
awesome.
time to like, look at the numbers, but I mean, are you really
Hurdle for
trading?
Josh straight up. What do you think?
No, 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 no. I think it would more likely be Barrett and Pirtle or something like that. I guess. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
that
I
fixes
have no
anything
idea.
for Toronto at all.
Yeah.
Definitely makes them more fun to watch, but I don't know if that like what does that do? That doesn't make them that seems weird, right?
Yeah, I mean I don't know if they might be in weird purgatory forever. Like they're just
Yeah,
always gonna be a team that doesn't fit together.
absolutely. I say all this to say, show me the trade because as
Yeah.
of November 2nd, The only disgruntled superstar we're really seeing right now is John Morant. I don't know. Is there anyone that you can think of off the top of your head? I'm sure Zion's not thrilled, but
Yeah, no, I think the 70% thing that you said was correct. Like I don't think he'll get
yeah,
traded. I think there's a chance, but people are acting like it's a foregone conclusion, and I definitely would
yeah,
not say that.
definitely not. And I wonder, like, the thing that's difficult with the NBA is you never know who the next star is that's going to be disgruntled and upset and tradable. And that's where it gets interesting, right? If there's another guy that just becomes extremely angry, that's where things start to happen. But again, with what you're building around, like, okay, Sabonis is pissed now. Does Sabonis and Jaren Jackson Jr. make sense together?
Yeah.
Probably not, right? So
The bonus
it's
even the
like
type to get pissed? Who knows?
he should have been like if he was the type to get pissed, he would have been pissed 3 years ago. So um I don't know. I think my favorite outcome is him somehow ending up on Minnesota, which is what you and I talked about, and just seeing Anthony Edwards and him go at it and just
Well,
seeing Anthony.
that would be a situation where like Ja would have to put his ego aside and be like, okay, we
That's what I
can
want. Yeah.
actually win like real meaningful games. So let's do it.
Exactly. And that's why it's such an exciting thought. It's like if there's anyone really in the league that you think could really get the best out of John Morant, it might be Anthony Edwards because
Yeah.
they're similar in age, and Ant is such an alpha and such a good leader. Like you would expect him to really just kind of butt heads with Ja, and I think in a positive way, and kind of get some meaningful growth from John Morant, which is what we want to see. So, all of this could be mute, and he could just stay in Memphis, and they could be already as we're talking, be on FaceTime together, making everything up. So, just wanted to cover those two teams. Any other thoughts from watching the NBA this week?
Hmm. The
Want to do a
Miami
little Celtics
offense that
corner?
we mentioned is fascinating to me, and
Oh yeah,
I've done some deep dives on it. Uh, I'm gonna make a full YouTube video on it. It is really cool and really like innovative. And Noah LaRoche was the offensive coordinator that you
yes,
could not think of. They just had him in as a consultant. He's not on the staff, but that guy like has a crazy story.
yeah, like
D3
dip
St.
two,
Joe's,
three, yeah,
and then like changed St. Joe's offense, and then makes his way all the way to the Grizzlies and changes their offense and has some success. And then like what he did with the Memphis offense, it was really drastic. It was like no pick and rolls,
yeah,
players can't cross paths, like all that whole system. It's not exactly like that in Miami. Like the concepts that Noah LaRoche put into Memphis and into St. Joe's, he has a whole system with a bunch of concepts in it, and Spoelstra has taken a bunch of those concepts and it's really close to the full system, but I don't think it's quite the same. And it's just fascinating to see like where the NBA is going with like all this cutting and movement and Miami just driving. Again, low ball screens. Like it's really interesting to see with a team that doesn't have like a really high usage ball handler at the moment without Tyler Hero, and it'll be interesting to see how Hero fits into it. So I'm gonna watch every Miami game for the next couple days, and
hmm
I'm gonna have a full video coming out on that offense soon.
absolutely. And weird to be talking about a fun Miami offense, I feel like.
Very weird, very weird.
Yeah. And on the counter to that, the Celtics have an awful offense. If you look at every single metric, they're bottom 25 for all those metrics. Let's have a quick little Celtics corner because I like doing that. Very fun team. I love Hugo Gonzalez. I love Josh Minott with
Ugo,
Ugo,
I
excuse
believe,
me. I love Ugo. I love Josh Minott.
love him.
He is
It sounded like you loved Josh Minot more than more than Ugo. Like you kind
I
of
love
changed
Ugo
the
too.
you changed the
I
inflection
did
there for Minot.
I think it's because I was so focused on trying to pronounce Ugo's name correctly that I kind of let all the
No,
other
I mean
words
it's
go
okay if
by.
you love Minot more. I love Ugo more myself. In terms of love, I love Ugo more. Who do I think is better? I'm not totally sure yet.
Yeah, I think they're to me, Jordan, I look more of the like they're my children and you don't have a favorite child. So I think that's kind of how I'm feeling about it right now.
Okay.
That being said, Celtics may be the strangest team. They play extremely hard. They beat Philly somehow in that play-in tournament game. Um, but they're not going to win a
By the
lot of
way, they're
games.
13th in offensive rating. It's not that bad.
Oh, well, I was looking at pace. I think it's pace.
Yeah,
Um,
pace is bad.
Yeah, it's like pace, possessions, like fouling, all kinds of metrics. I was kind of just doing a little look through, and seeing who was at the bottom of the league and stuff. And they were at the bottom of the league in a lot of things.
Well,
So
they're fouling because Missoula has them picking up full
yes,
court,
full court.
94 feet every single possession. And it's great.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, you got to
I
force
love it.
turnovers when you don't have as much offensive
Talent.
talent. So, yeah,
Yeah. Derek White's efficiency is
really bad.
very poor. Yeah. I think it's really funny when this is what's really funny about NBA discourse, and we all do it. When a guy is elite at his role on a
Mhm.
team, it's people start to think that he is an all-star level player or that he is a star. And it's funny when you strip everything down, you see the difference between a star and a role player. And Derek White is an elite level star role player, but he is not a star because now that he is the second option on an offense, his efficiency has completely dwindled. And granted, he's surrounded by a lot of really rough players. I get it, but I just want to put that out there.
It is going to get a lot better. He has not looked good, but we know how good of a player he is. He's not this bad.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying there's levels to this, and I
No,
think
that's
some
true, but
people
I still think like these are not going to be his season-long efficiency numbers. He has not shot the ball well. Even through the first couple games, like Pritchard looked really rough. He's turned it around. Like I think Derek White's going to have a similar hot streak in terms of shooting. Like the whole team through the first three games,
yes,
they started 0-3. They could not make a shot, and then all of a sudden in that I can't remember what game it was, but I think it was the Cleveland game. Like Hauser comes
yeah,
out
the
and
Cavs game. Yep,
nails fucking five threes in
nine
the first
points in a
quarter.
minute, something
Yeah,
like that.
literally. And then like the whole team made, 20 something threes that game. So I think there's going to be some regression for White, but yeah, it's definitely
Well,
would rather have him as our third or fourth guy than the second.
I think like the Ringer 100. I think there was a time when Derek White was over some very
Yeah, no, that's fair.
important
Those
players.
rankings probably yeah,
It's like
probably
things like that
overblown.
when people are talking about things like that. It's like
Well, I don't know though, because it comes down to like, would you rather have a bottom tier like star initiator or Derek White? Like in terms of winning the championship, isn't it like are you ever going to win with a really bad
I'm
star
saying
initiator?
Derek White in a vacuum.
In a vacuum, yeah, I know. But I think
That's where the conversation gets interesting. Is people were
right.
saying some pretty outrageous things about him and Derek White. I don't know why this is me. I'm not trying to bash Derek White. I fucking love Derek White. What I'm trying to say is like
Yeah,
he's never going
he's
to be a
slotted up.
second star
Yeah.
on a winning playoff basketball team right
Yeah.
now
Well,
because he's
I'm not
it,
ruling it out. I'm higher on this Celtics team than you. I'm higher on Derek White apparently. I think they're going to get
I
a lot
love Derek White. I don't know why I even brought this up. I'm just saying his efficiency has been pretty bad, and I think that's
Yeah.
what happens when you see a lot more pressure on him because
All
as a third
right.
option, he's pretty fucking awesome, but as a
All
second
right.
option, he gets a
So
little gamey.
Max hates Derek White. That's what we learned today.
I feel like
Max
every Celtics corner we do, I end up saying something that I
that you
regret
regret.
about the
White's
Celtics,
gonna
about
have
the team I love.
35 next game.
I hope he does. I do. I hope he. I really hope he does. That being said, I also really want. I've been doing early draft, some early draft work here,
Oh wow.
and well, first off, I mean, the absolute dream is that we somehow get Cameron Boozer. I think that is the just absolute
You
number
think we're
one
gonna be
dream.
that bad? We're gonna get
I
a
don't think
top
we're going to
three
be that
pick.
bad. No, I don't think we're going to be that bad. That's why I said it's the absolute dream. Yeah, I just think he would be the amazing beautiful fit. He's like 6'10", 235. Talk about just like an Uber version of Al Horford.
He's
Um
he's mean,
he's
dude.
just
That
awesome.
dude is physical. He's huge. He's
Yes.
mean. He's strong. He's getting 23 rebounds in a game. I was like, oh my God. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think anybody would like Cam Boozer. I don't think that's
I know
quite a
it's
hot
not well,
take.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying guys that I said he's a dream. I'm saying
Okay.
because here's an example. AJ is a massive Celtics fan. I love AJ Dembonsa as well as a prospect. All that. That being said, I'm not sure if you're drafting AJ Dembonsa because he's a little redundant with what we have, is what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
that's why I was saying, like, in terms of fit, like, I would love Darren Peterson as well, point guard, just a good attacking guy. But I really want a nice, awesome big. None of this is important in any way because we're not even going to get that pick. But the other guy I
Yeah, I mean
wanted
we're
to,
about to win 50 games, so
well, not that, but one of the guys that I also really like and I see um, like mocked to us a lot is Jaden Quantance. I don't think
yeah.
Quaintance. I don't know how to say his last name.
Acquaintance.
6'9", 230 out of Kentucky. He's a sophomore. I love his game a lot. So just some stuff, some early watch. Another one. I mean, JT Toppin would be fun, but he's a little raw. Um,
How about your Tennessee Volunteer, man?
I love Nate Ament. He's a little raw though, I think.
Yeah.
He's very good. I love his creation.
I
I just
watched
don't
like
know how he would
a
work with
highlight
Tatum.
reel. Is he a little Zachary Risachet-y? Is he like a
Yeah,
long
he's like there's a
shooter?
range of Ricochet to KD. Bit of a range there.
Big range. Is he
A little bit of
closer to the
a
KD
range.
side? No, no,
No,
no way.
he's not. But Rick Barnes coached KD and is now coaching Nate Mint. What I liked is in the first game against Duke, I was watching that obviously because I'm a Tennessee alum, huge Tennessee fan. Um, he took like the first four shots and he just off like created those for himself. He's a good shot creator. Um, he just needs to put more weight onto his frame. He's got a lot of development to go. Uh, but yeah, for me, it's that area of the floor we have covered with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, gotcha.
I want to get some like centers, some impactful centers in here. I feel like we haven't had one. I mean, I'm saying a lot of things here. We had KP, I get it.
Horford, dude?
Um,
You hate
Horford
Horford?
was awesome. I don't hate Horford. I love Horford. I want to fill in my Horford-sized gap in my heart, and it hurts every
Big
time
gap.
because the Warriors are just so good.
Yeah.
They're so
Horford's
fun to play.
perfect for them. Yeah.
Dude, their schedule, have you looked at? Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've watched almost every Warriors game. They're
Fun to
just so
watch.
fun. Their schedule has been ridiculous. I know they're playing the Pacers right now. But they played, let's see here, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Blazers, the Grizzlies, the Clippers, the Bucks, and now the Pacers.
Yeah. Well,
They lost to the Pacers today or
they lost to
yesterday.
the Giannisless Bucks and the depleted Pacers. So I didn't watch those two
Yes,
games, but
but they're also
that was
super
weird.
old and they were coming off a back to back. They were coming off a back to back. They had 1 day rest and then they played on Thursday. So the
Yeah.
second game of the back to back was on Tuesday, and then they played I believe in Milwaukee. Um, oh wait, Pfizer Forum is that where's yeah Milwaukee. So they played in Milwaukee on that Thursday. So they had 1 day rest, and then traveled over to. I mean the Indiana loss is tough. I didn't
Yeah.
watch that game though. So okay, let's wrap this up here. Leave them wanting more, Jordy. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Long Two here. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and show your friends. It helps us out so much. We appreciate you all of you who have been commenting on our video or Jordan's videos and our pods. That's been really helpful. So thank you guys for that. And please subscribe to Jordan's channel if you haven't already. What are you at? You're almost at 5K now. Getting
Yeah, I think
close
so.
on the road to 5K.
I think I just hit like a little over 4. I haven't checked in a couple
Dude,
days.
that's been happening quick. So good for you, man. Congrats on that, and thank you guys for that. If you're on Spotify, you can obviously watch this video as a video podcast, or you can do audio only. And please like and give us, a five star rating on Spotify. It really helps us out. You can also leave comments on Spotify as well. So please do that. We'll answer all your comments. If you're on Apple Music or anywhere else you get these podcasts, please like and share with your friends. It really helps us out a lot. And as always, thank you all for listening, and peace.